Welcome back to M Hood Fishing. Maybe I'm in luck tonight. It took me a while to get this camera out, get the intro going and everything, and I thought for sure. And then he started to doubt it. And once he starts doubting himself, you know it's all over. He's not catching a sac-a-lait before the intro. He tried, and they gave him plenty of leeway, but it's just not happening yet.
Nah, can't do it every time.
No. Two things in my arsenal. All right, so that is a custom custom hand-tied jig by Kai's Custom Jigs. There's a link in the description. And that is a Muddy Waters bait right there. See that bait? And that's on a drop shot. So those are the two things I'm going to do. Now, there's been some changes with this rod here. It used to have 10-pound mono on it. This morning I changed it down to 8-pound.
On the board.
There you go. Finally, that's like the smallest one out of here.
It's a baby.
So he's fishing under the cork, and I decided to drop shot with that Muddy Waters, and so
A little itty bitty.
or let's see how small that is. That is itty bitty. Look at that little tiny guy. His mama was a bluegill. So there's the bait, and that is a size 4 mosquito by owner, 3/8 ounce, and it's a little less than a foot.
Oh, it's not a bad one either.
Wow, that is not bad. Holy moly!
That's actually pretty big.
So we started this session
Barely hooked.
around 10 or so, and it is definitely
Yeah, it's probably a 12-inch.
close to 1 a.m. and our cutoff tonight is 2 a.m. In this, I've had a couple of bites on the drop shot. We're just thinking about going because it's just not on fire tonight. And at the last minute, he gets that.
Yeah, pretty too.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, 3:01 in the afternoon. Time to get it going. Maybe, probably. Bass box along with the sac-a-lait box. Come on. Well, yeah. Sometimes you have to turn the camera off and turn it back on. So, kind of back together here. It is the next day. Sometimes it's just not on, but you go anyway, right? And you have this grim feeling in the beginning that, oh, it's not on, but you remember times when you showed up to get crappie at a spot where you know you can get them because you've got them before, even maybe a day before that or 2 days before that, but it's starting slow, and you remember times when it looked grim in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, boom, it started happening. So we thought that's what was happening last night. Slow to start. We got like one little tiny one. Kieran did. It's Kieran, by the way, not Karen. Kieran, like the Irish Kieran, not Karen. It's not a K-A, it's a K-E. So, little one, Kieran got that little one, and then there was nothing. I had bites on the drop shot, which was great. And 1 o'clock, around 1, maybe a little after 1, that really nice keeper, but we let it go. We had a cutoff for 2. We couldn't stay past 2 a.m. and we stayed for a few more minutes and nothing. So we're just like, we gotta go. Sometimes it's just not on fire, but there are some results, right? So this is the next day. Like I said, I'm getting ready to get back at it. Yesterday was a long day. I didn't just sit on my ass all day and wait to go fishing with Kieran late at night. I'd actually been fishing all day. It was just a bad day. of fishing, which some people say is better than a good day of work, but you got to look at it differently. You got to, the inverse, you got to flip that around. That's what my work is. Fishing is my work. That was a bad day of work and a bad day of fishing, so it was all good. Something came of it in the end, but sometimes it's just not that great. That's the reality of fishing. It's not always epic. It's not always back-to-back, thunderous catches. Sometimes it's just suffering and you get something, but you should learn something from it. Yeah, pay attention to all the data that you can and the weather and everything. So this was the result of cold fronts last night. When that cold front came in right after it, we eventually had a good night because we stayed on top of it. Maybe it would have been really good last night if we could have stayed past 2 a.m. till like almost dawn, almost pre-dawn. Maybe a wave of sockeye would have came through, but we just couldn't. We had a cutoff for 2 a.m. And now I'm back at it. I am headed out to do my first session of the day. I'm probably going to do 2 sessions. Probably going to do this afternoon sunset session somewhere, which will be the next video, and then possibly another late night session with Karen. Maybe not, maybe someone else, maybe the vampire could have showed up last night. There was a possibility of it, but he was texting asking for reports and I didn't have anything good to say, right? So he never showed up. But it might be something different tonight, because as we go through the week, yes, our overnights have been chilly, but slowly but surely that temperature has been registering a little higher, but not by much, by maybe a couple of degrees, not much, but it's a tick up. So what that means, as we get to Friday, this being Thursday, the water temperature quite possibly has ticked up. I don't know if you noticed, but in that video and some of the videos recently, you see a lot of steam or fog coming off the water. That means there's 2 different temperatures going on. The air temperature is colder than the water temperature. The water temperature is around mid-50s right now, and the air temperature at night has been way below that, in the low 40s to mid-40s. Tonight, the overnight is going to be like 48, which is a lot better than it was last night. Most of the night tonight, it's going to be in the 50s. When you're fishing for crappie, air temperature and water temperature are very important, but a lot of places where you're fishing, you cannot get real-time data on that water temperature. You need to guess or get some devices that will take a temperature for you. And sometimes it is confusing because you'll get a water temperature from the bank that is not necessarily the same water temperature out in the deep, right? But it'll give you an idea of what's going on, how it's come up or come down. Mid-50s is pretty good for pre-spawn feed up triggering for crappie, but once it gets in the high 50s, they're gonna go crazy, and then over that edge, 60 degrees, somewhere in the 60s, low 60s, they're probably gonna slow down because they're headed towards spawning. We're fluctuating with this El Nino, this get really cold, get really warm, get really cold, get really warm, up and down, right? Up and down, yo-yo weather. That's kind of what's up. Yesterday it was just post cold front conditions everywhere. That might be the same thing today, but it is ticking up. Things are getting better. It is just what you go through in January. Yeah, you're right. And this is something we go through at the end of every video. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, being a member of the channel, and I will see you next time.